In this video, I'm going to teach you the steps that you need to take to refinish your hardwood floors. We're going to go from the sanding to the gap filling to the coating of the floors. And it's important for you to follow these steps. I already have like more than 25 years working in construction, and I want to teach you everything that I know about it. So this floor had a lot of wear and tear. Carpet was put on top of it, so all the carpet and staples and all that stuff were removed, and now I need to make sure that it looks as good as it can be. Obviously, when you have all floors, you are not going to expect to have them 100% free of little stains and things like that, but you want to do your best. We're going to start with this machine. This is called a drum sander. It comes with drum belts, and these belts obviously are going to be, in this case, from the rough to the finest. It comes with its own dust bag and extension cord. So we're going to use number 36, 60, 80, and 100 grit paper, sandpaper, and it comes in this cylindrical shape, so you can buy them at the place where you rent your machines or in a hardwood flooring or so specialized store or your home improvement store. You know, there are plenty of places. Always, 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 let me tell you back again, always use dust masks. If you don't use dust masks, you're gonna get sick really, really, really quick. Don't try to play, don't try to be a superhero or something, because you're gonna get sick if you don't have that dust mask on. Trust me, you want to make sure that you have a dust mask on. Once again, use dust masks. Now, you want to make sure that you use the cord that comes with the machine. Don't try to put another cord, because this cord is really thick, and the lever that you see here that I'm bringing up and down is the one that is going to help you sand the floors, stop, bring that drum up, and then do it back again. In this case, I'm going to start like 2 steps away from the wall, and I'm going to go fairly close to the wall. You don't need to be extremely close, but you're going to hit probably an outlet or a molding. So you want to go really slow, and if you notice, I'm releasing that drum slowly as I walk. You don't want to just be standing and drop it. No, you want to start walking and then gently bring it down, so you don't have a big dent on your hardwood floors, especially with this rough 36 number 36 grit paper. You don't want to do the stuff, so you want to go slowly. Obviously, I'm going to speed up the camera in this case, but if you notice in the beginning, I started like that, and then you want to just overlap a little bit when you're sanding, so you know and you control the amount of sanding that you do. Little by little, you're going to find out that it's kind of nice to be able to use this machine the way I'm using it. Now, remember that your floor sometimes, and like in this case, this house settle in different ways, and you're going to have some little areas here and there that are a little more darker. Don't get frustrated, because I'm going to show you the steps that you can take to take those sections that are a little concave out. So don't worry about that stuff. But if you notice, look how gently I'm putting the drum down. That this machine is really heavy, so it doesn't need you to push harder than normal. And if you have a lot of more glossy material or a lot of other like glues or things like that, you may go through a lot of sanding discs or belts, because it's just gonna get all that gooey thing on it, and you need to use a lot of more. But I'm going to show you one trick that I do to save a lot of money and a lot of frustration. If you notice how slow I'm going, it's because I want to make sure that the first run that I do is nice and even, and it's going to give me the best possibility. So normally what I will do is that I use like about one paper for like 150 square feet when it's in this situation, but sometimes you need to go through a lot of more sanding discs or belts in this case. And now that I'm in another section, I'm going to go ahead and start further back down, maybe a couple of more inches behind that line where I start sanding, and that way I can kind of take over in a nice even way of that transition. Now on the next sanding cycle with the number 60, you want to start in the opposite side. You want to make sure that you don't start on the same place, because these dents, if you start from the same situation, the same idea, you're gonna see some transitions on the level of the floor, because you're taking a section of the hardwood floor out. I mean, you're taking that out. So notice that you want to again, using the mask, you want to make sure that you empty your filter. When do you need to empty the filter or the filter bag or the dust collecting bag? When you see that a lot of dust start coming out of the bottom, like it's not collecting it. Normally you won't see that much dust when you're sanding, but if you start seeing it, that's a sign that you need to go ahead and empty your bag. Now we're gonna do the same thing again, but with the other disc, and see how close I am. Not that close, but because I'm going to use another machine. And these are the stains that I'm talking about. Sometimes you find them because a person had a pot there for many years, that water damaged that thing, and it goes all the way through. You don't want to over sand that section, because you may end up damaging and leaving a huge hole or dent over there. Now you'll start seeing how rough it is, but I want to leave it until 60, and then I'm going to turn it later on to 80 and 100, because I want to make sure that I do some corrections with the edger, and I'm going to show you the machine in a moment. But you go ahead and do the sanding. That is the part that is fairly tedious, but you want to make sure that you do it nicely and with a lot of cadence. So you want to make sure that you time yourself really well and you do it. But see, even though after you do all the sanding, you might find those little spots that are a little lower, and that's just because sometimes the house settles or the hardwood floor is uneven. So you don't have to worry about that stuff too much, because I'm going to show you the steps that you need to take. This is then the edger. The edger is one that comes with these discs, and again, I mean, they can be rough, and this machine is really delicate because the machine will spin obviously in a circular mode, and it can eat a lot of the wood. So you want to make sure that you use something that is not as rough as the other one. Obviously you can have the 36 if you need it, but see, with the old paper that is nice and clean, it's just that it's not as tough. What I'm doing is actually I'm making a cutout, and I'm pulling a few discs out of these belts that I recycle, and that helps me a lot, because this thing not only are expensive, but you're going to go through a lot of them. So at the end, you end up saving a lot of money by reusing or recycling or repurposing the old ones that you just pull from your drum sander. So now this machine is heavy, and when you're moving around, you want to make sure that you use your elbows on top of your knees so you can support your back. So it's going to take a lot of effort, and you want to take some breaks. But the idea is this machine is going to get way closer to the edge than obviously the drum sander. And you want to go in circular mode. You want to go ahead and take care of those sections. Don't try to stay in one place for too long, because you may end up making a huge dent on the floor. This machine is really delicate. It's really powerful, and you want to make sure that you put as much attention as possible, so you don't create a bad outcome, or a hazardous situation where you hurt yourself with the machine. The machine has two wheels in the back, and the disc that is rotating, so you don't need to lift it up or tilt it or whatever. You just kind of move it in circular mode, and the machine itself, as it moves, it will give you the possibility for you to kind of just move it around, maneuver the machine really easy. Obviously this disc will run out really quick. They worn out fairly fast. So the wear and tear of the discs are really way different than the ones on the drum sander, and you want to make sure that you go through a lot of them, because once you start seeing some little burns on the wood, it's time for you to change it. Now remember those areas that were a little bit lower, well, you can go ahead and look for them really well and send them down. So you want to make sure that in this particular case you go 36, 60, and 80 on those. Now, for those final edges, these are scrapers. There are different kinds of companies that provide scrapers, but in this case, this blade has 4 sides, and those 4 sides can be sharpened, and you can use it to remove all that, like back in the days when you had carpenters creating that feeling of scraping on the thing. Now, don't do it in opposite way of perpendicular to the grain. You want to make sure that you go parallel with the grain, so you don't scratch and you don't damage your floor. So this will take some effort, and some time, as well as using a sander. You know, you can use like a palm sander or an orbital palm sander that will help you to take care of those little areas. And so now it's a little more of detail. Remember that we're going to put a mold in anyway, but you want to make sure that you remove it as much as possible so the new sealer will go in deeply. That is an important step that you need to take. And obviously when you go and do the stuff, you want to use a vacuum. A vacuum is your best tool, because the vacuums are going to take all those fibers, all the dust out of the crevices, and prepare it for the next step. Remember that this is a process that is important, and that's why I'm making 3 videos out of the same thing. So it's a series of videos, and this one I want to concentrate on the part of the sanding, making sure that everything is fine, and having it ready for your other I would say floor, like hardwood floor grout application. Yes, you can make your own hardwood filler, you know, with the same fibers, but I'm going to show you that in another video. But imagine that once you finish with all that, you want to make sure that you vacuum everything before you do the next step, which is filling all those hundreds of gaps that are around. We want to make sure that we finish and we close all those little holes. Look how beautiful it looks like, and it's going to give us a really rewarding outcome once we start putting the other steps. So remember that in this video right here and somewhere in this section, I'm going to show you the next video that we're going to do. And you're going to leave it really nice. Make sure that you don't step with muddy floor, muddy shoes on your floor, because you're going to, you know, hurt your project. So thank you for following my video. Obviously you made it up to the end. Hit that little notification bell and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.